So let's talk about wearing masks and enjoying sunshine and also maybe a little update on Durham's investigation. So stick with me, folks. We've got a lot to cover. Hey everybody, this is Deb with Truthification Chronicles, and we just have a lot to cover tonight because, lots of stuff happening. So, the first thing I want to start out with is this tweet right here because this person tweeted this video, and I'm not going to use sound because it has music in it, but the picture is what you need to watch. What other president would do this? Watch what he does. See the hat on the ground? He picks it up and hands it to the man. Well, puts it on his head. So, what other president would have done that? Can you ever envision Barack Obama bending over and doing that? I just can't. Not at all. A lot of times he didn't even salute him. So, and here's Trump applauding him, first of all, and he sees the hat and he just automatically does that. There are so many things that if you watch him closely, he does little things like that all the time. That's just something that we need to applaud and we need to share. So if you're on Twitter, I'll leave the link to this down below and you can share it with other people. Great little clip there. But yeah, you're not going to see that replayed too many times on CNN, that's for sure. And then I wanted to show you this because somebody in one of the tweets said, well, what happens if we all start wearing MAGA masks and Trump 2020 and so forth? So, yeah, you can get yourself a Trump 2020 mask. I do notice that a lot of them are about $20 here, and then there's some on Amazon, and some of these are kind of scary, but there are some on Amazon. Be careful of the Amazon ones because the shipping on a lot of them is really salty. So, they look cheap, like $8, but then you got $8 in shipping. But some of them are pretty cool looking. I just saw that they have gators on Teespring here. I haven't played around with that one yet, so I'm going to see if I can make a couple of them up. I don't know. Give me a week. It'll take me a few days to download their template and everything and figure it out. But yeah, and if you haven't seen my Teespring store, well, there's lots of stuff. I have more than just like apparel. There's apparel and there's also some mugs and some pillows and bedding. The bedding is like blanket and phone cases, stickers, bags. And I'm trying to put more on there all the time. It's just too many other things are slamming me right now. And I'm telling you, all these daily briefings are tiring me out. So that's what happens when you got chronic fatigue syndrome. It just does. Anyway, so I wanted to share this with you too while we're at it on the Trump things. I just saw this on Twitter today, so I downloaded the app on my phone. And you can download the app too. Now I'm going to put a link down below because supposedly, if you take my link and you download it, then I'll earn points or something like that. I have no idea what the points are for. I don't know. But anyway, you can just do it. Even if you don't get it from me, you can download it for, an Android or an iPhone. And, it's pretty cool because it's got lots of stuff in it and keep you up to date on all the different things that they're doing. And it's from the Trump team, so... And if you haven't subscribed to this channel right here, you need to, because yes, this really is Donald J. Trump's channel, although he's not on it, but it's his Team Trump that's running it. But lots of stuff going on, you guys. If you don't know about it, they're doing a lot of different things. Since they can't be doing rallies, they're doing this instead. So make sure you keep up with them, okay? And the link to this will be down below in the description. Remember, I put them all in the description, just like usual. Anyway, I wanted to point this out to you because I'm sure a lot of you saw this, and I even pointed it out, that this lady right here is a Democrat. She's a representative. She was very, very sick with COVID-19, and she took the hydroxychloroquine, and sure enough, she's doing just fine. So she wanted to say thank you to President Trump. What happens? Well, now that she said thank you, guess what? The Democrats plan to censure her. And essentially, they're going to toss her out of the party. You just watch. This is what's going to happen. And so he said, disgraceful, should join the Republican Party. It's just sad that all she wanted to do was say thank you, and that's just not allowed. Isn't it sad that we have a political party where that is just not appropriate for them? So anyway, I'll leave the link to this down below. You can read that. And then this, we talked about this guy before. Remember, this is Doyle from the Doyle and Moynihan pair that did the testimony on the Clinton Foundation a while back now, but they did that when the Republicans were still in charge of the House. And so this guy is putting out little videos telling the Trump administration the specific things they need to be looking for in the Clinton Foundation information. And this one right here, he's talking about how they were brokering these agreements back and forth, and they were getting money off of it, and they were essentially working as a foreign agent. And he even gives like the specific date and everything. So you need to watch this too. I'll put the link down below. And again, even if you don't have Twitter, all you have to do is take that link and it will take you to this. So you won't be able to like comment on it or, like it or anything like that, but you can watch it. So he just goes through and he lists all these things. Now remember, he's coming at it from a very IRS perspective. So when he talks about the Clinton Foundation, he's talking about how they were violating IRS law, U.S. law having to do with taxes. So that's really what his focus is. And just purely on that, he is laying out the case for why they should be investigated very strongly. So I'll leave that one down below. And this is a good one to follow because he keeps coming out with all these different kinds of things. And I think he's trying to lay out his case to regular people. So share and share it well. Okay, this one is a thread that probably will only really speak to those of you who are following the 17th letter of the alphabet. But the information in here is very interesting. I think there are some really good ties to this because the 17th letter of the alphabet posted a video that had this image in it. Well, guess what? There's a pharmaceutical company called Sun, and look at this. This is their logo. Does it look the same? Looks pretty similar to me. And then when you go through this, there are some very interesting ties. And they have this about the pharma firms increase efforts for HCQ production, which is the hydroxychloroquine production. And when you go through these, they're pointing out some of the very interesting things. Now, I'm not going to go through this whole thread because there's just so much in it and it goes so many different directions that really the best thing to do is go through it yourself because like here's an article about scientists fight deadly new coronavirus, but this was several years ago and this was Fauci. I mean, this is something that, and I like this one right here. They consider it potentially sensitive content. Look at what it is. Yeah, repurposing drugs in oncology article. Why would it put that as sensitive? I don't know, because it talks about hydroxychloroquine. I don't know. I commented on that. But if you go through, just keep going through this because there are so many different comments that then bring out something else about it. And, it's just, this is stuff that could be very life-changing. And really, if you go through and you look for hydroxychloroquine, you find out that it's been studied for an awful lot of different things. And it's shown some efficacy in curing or at least mitigating the effects of a lot of different illnesses. So I think this is something that is huge. When you go through it, yeah, I think some of this is true. And I'm not going to talk about a lot of it because then the powers that be would not like that. And they like to remove videos that go against what the WHO says. So some of this definitely does. Yeah, I caught this too, that Fauci was trying to say it couldn't be transferred from an animal to a human, but then he turned around and said it was transferred from an animal to a human. He's contradicting himself. If you really pay attention, he's kind of imploding, really. And this guy, this Zelenko, this is a guy that Sean Hannity has talked about, I believe, that he did this study with it and found that it was very effective when he combined the three things. So there's just, I mean, again, you just have to go through all of these different things in here because there's so much. And it makes it hard for me to hit them all and just read through them all because there's just tons. But yeah, I think something's going on. Now, as for that video that the 17th letter of the alphabet shared, I want to show you what has been added to the description of it. Yeah, look at this. The World Health Organization Solidarity Fund. So that's been added. Very interesting. I just wanted to point that out. That wasn't there before because definitely everybody would have seen it, but it is now. And so, makes you wonder, doesn't it? Anyway, let's go on. Well, guess what? Now, Christopher Steele is saying, I don't have no emails. They were all wiped. Yeah. So all of the documents that he had having to do with, his communications with people, whatever the case is. Yeah, he told a British court last month that he no longer has key documents related to his infamous dossier. Kind of makes you wonder if the Mueller crew decided to kind of shred things, The ex-spy said in a deposition that his email accounts were wiped clean of any correspondence related to the dossier. It's not clear if Steele deleted the accounts himself. Or, like I said, could have been somebody in the Mueller group. He also admitted he does not have information related to debriefings he had in 2016 with his lone source of information for the dossier. How convenient is this? Are we surprised? No, we're not. Do we believe that the NSA still has copies? Probably. I think somebody's got copies. Steele suggested in a statement late last year that he, quote, meticulously documented and recorded his meetings with the source. But now it's all gone. Can't find it. Didn't they use that same excuse in the documents for General Flynn? Yeah, I'm not buying this at all. Not at all. So I'll leave this article down below. It was kind of an interesting article to read. But, Now, check this out. So I go to Gateway Pundit. What do I get? My stupid McAfee? Look what they do. We tested this page and blocked content that comes from potentially dangerous or suspicious sites? I mean, serious. So I don't know what they blocked. I really haven't seen anything here, but why? Why did they block that? Anyway, the really important thing, that's just extra. Let me get rid of it. Okay, that's just extra. This is really what's important. This explains the New York numbers. Governor's policies required infected coronavirus patients be sent back to nursing homes. How horrible is that? I mean, seriously, look at this. So you had people that were elderly in the first place. They get coronavirus. They put them back in the very place with the most vulnerable people. This is horrible. This is just unfathomable. I can't believe that this was going on. It's just, yeah, the massacre of Italy's elderly nursing home residents. It sounds like that's exactly what they did in New York, too. Oh, well, they're sick. Let's put them back with the people who are most likely to die from this. In New York State, the law required officials to bring COVID-19 patients back to nursing homes. Isn't that great? We are deeply concerned with the recent New York State order, which states no resident shall be denied readmission or admission to the NH solely based on a confirmed or suspected diagnosis of COVID-19. NHs are prohibited from requiring a hospitalized resident who is determined medically stable to be tested for COVID-19 prior to admission or readmission. Oh, what is going on with our world? Oh, and over here, pandemic drones. That's something else, too. They detect when someone has a fever or coughs. Scary. Whatever happened to our liberties? At what point do the people stand up and say enough is enough? Well, I'll tell you what, if people start wearing these, the liberals aren't going to be defending wearing a mask anymore. I bet all of a sudden it's not going to be what you're supposed to do wearing a mask, right? Yeah, you can go through this and look, but about half of COVID-19 deaths have been in nursing home patients. And that's why, because they kept sending them back. 43% of New Jersey deaths involve nursing homes. In my county, 20% of all cases and a whopping 54% of all deaths are from these homes. In my small town, we have 17 dead in one of these facilities. Of 4,753 coronavirus-related deaths in the Garden State so far, 2,048, that's 43%, have involved long-term care facilities, according to the State Department of Health. In Morris County, nearly 54% of COVID-19 deaths, 156 out of 291 fatalities, have involved such facilities. 36 facilities across Morris have had outbreaks with 865 cases confirmed. That's nearly 20% of the 4,435 individuals who have tested positive in the county as of April 21st, 2020. In Minnesota, 71% of the deaths are in nursing homes. Serious, this is horrible, folks. This is awful. 71% of deaths were in nursing homes. What's going on? Why are people not protecting them more? It's just, this is so sad. And they used the same thing in Italy. That's why they had so many die. Yeah. You're really going to have to read through this because that's just unconscionable in my mind that they would do that. It's almost like they wanted them to die. And if this comes back that they did this on purpose just to make that happen and to make people more scared of this illness, so we'd give up our liberties and we would be willing to crash the economy, that is just the worst thing I can even think of. Those people are just evil. They really are. And I'm not saying that's what they did, but it kind of looks like they did it on purpose. So they had to have had a reason. Anyway, I've got this article here from the Just the News site, John Solomon's site. A summer break, new Homeland Security research shows sunlight, humidity kill coronavirus quickly. This one, Homeland Security official, I can tell you that bleach will kill the virus in 5 minutes. Isopropyl alcohol will kill the virus in 30 seconds. And that's with no manipulation, no rubbing. So this is something that I have been wondering all along. It's like, why is nobody talking about, UV light? Because UV light is known to kill all kinds of germs. In fact, at my grocery store, when you go in, if you want to get a refill of a water jug, then there's a UV light there that helps to disinfect stuff. So I've been wondering, why in the world has there been nothing on this? And of course, when President Trump mentioned pretty early on that the sunshine in summer should kill off a lot of it, people were laughing at him. But it's true. This is what happens. And we in the North, I guess we know this because in the winter, when we're all stuck inside and everything, and it's cold and there's not a lot of sun, we get sick. And then in the summer, when there's lots of sun and we're outside, we get well. And you don't get a lot of cases of the flu then. So we've known it for a long time, and it makes sense to me. I mean, it's perfectly logical, but they were all saying, no, can't be. But yeah, this is true. If you go to this Dig In, you can find the chart here from the Department of Homeland Security. It's a PDF, and it looks like this. And so you can see, this is the deal. It actually does work. The temperature, the humidity, it's going to make a big difference. It just really is. And having that sun out there and the warmth and the humidity, It's going to be huge in taking this illness down. It just is. But this is a really good article, by the way, here, because it says, Brian said DHS testing showed there was a very significant difference when the coronavirus is exposed to UV rays, and, quote, extra care may be warranted or dry environments that do not have exposure to solar light. So this is what we're talking about. This is a type of disinfectant. And then, of course, here they're talking about bleach will kill the virus in 5 minutes. Isopropyl alcohol will kill the virus in 30 seconds, and that's with no manipulation, no rubbing, as we said before. So these are the things that really need to be included. They need to be looked at. They need to be studied. And here you've got this data to deal with. I don't see how the press, the liberal media, can say this is all bogus, it's not science. It's like, wait a minute, this is science. This is what science is. Have they forgotten? Have they forgotten articles like this from, 2003? See, we've known about this for a very long time, that guess what? Ultraviolet germicidal irradiation, which is UV rays, to control transmission of airborne disease, bioterrorism countermeasure. This has been on the radar at least since 2003, and yet they're sitting there going, well, no, I don't think that's going to work. I just don't think that's going to work. And you got to know, they want to keep us locked down. Now, here's my theory on it. Okay, this is totally my thinking. They need to have the economy crash. Because, not so much to get Trump out, although that's a big part of it, but they need it to crash because they desperately need people to rely on the government. Remember, this is a concentrated effort. What we're seeing in the media and everything that they're saying about this, all the negativity that they have, that is a concentrated effort to push us into a new world order, to change what America is like, to turn us into a socialist country. See, they want to get everybody on a regular income from the government. Everybody has to live off the government. That's what they want to push. And that's what they're desperately trying to get enacted. They want to see our entire government structure change into this socialism, because in socialism, a few people control, everybody else works for them. And that's really what they want. So, anyway, that's just my thoughts on that. But I don't understand why they haven't been talking about UV. I've been saying it for a while. I didn't say it on here. But if you know me in real life, you've been hearing me say it. Because it's like, I don't understand. Get out and get the sun. This is the last thing I want to share with you here. John Durham expands investigative team amid coronavirus outbreak. Now, I'm not so sure that he's expanding it now. There's a lot of timing issues that people are reporting John Durham doing this, and they make it sound like it's happening right now. He's been working on his investigation for a very long time. And he is really getting down to the nitty-gritty. Look who he has put in. He put in this Anthony Scarpelli, who is chief of the Violent Crimes and Narcotics Trafficking Section for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington. Violent crimes and narcotics trafficking. Gee, I wonder who in our government or who in that whole Russia hoax thing could ever be guilty of such things. I wonder if Durham has received a certain laptop that has a certain life insurance file on it. Kind of sounds like maybe he has. So that's something very big that he has this guy that he's put in there, because violent crimes and narcotics trafficking, why would he put that person in there if it's all just talking about FISA abuse? See, it's not about FISA abuse, folks. It's much, much bigger. Attorney General William Barr said in an interview this week that Durham's investigation into the origins of the Crossfire Hurricane operation and the conduct of associated law enforcement officers and intelligence officials is proceeding full speed ahead, and the timing of a report or possible criminal charges will not be based on the 2020 election calendar. But, he stressed, an announcement or possible indictments are not imminent. Okay? I don't know exactly what he considers imminent, so I do think they're going to be coming out. I just am not sure exactly when. I was hoping this week, but then again, John Solomon said they'd probably be this week, and that did not pan out. But if that means that they are bringing this guy in to look at violent crimes and trafficking, then I'm okay with that. We need to make sure that those are dealt with. So you can look at him. This guy, it's very interesting, too, that this guy spent a year as an assistant U.S. attorney in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Could it be that, there's a lot going on in that area and they need to be dealing with that? I think there were some big-name people who have been visiting the U.S. Virgin Islands, so that could be part of it, too. If you recall in the last video I did, if you watched that video that I gave you a link to, you heard Joe DeGenova say the grand juries and everything could be changed from Washington, D.C. if there was sufficient reason to believe that some of the activity took place outside of Washington, D.C. Well, I think they're going to come up with a lot of activity that did happen outside that location. So I think they will be able to pretty much get any of these locations that they really want to be able to have the grand jury in. This is somebody that he appointed before, Sarah Carwin, and nobody really knows who all is on this team. And so then he mentioned some others here. This one, this right here, this John Eckenrode, assisted then Special Prosecutor Patrick Fitzgerald in the Valerie Plame affair. I sure hope that he's a good guy, because Patrick Fitzgerald is the godfather of one of Comey's kids. So I hope this assistant here, maybe he saw what was going on and, he is going to stand up against that. I don't know. I really hope so. But anyway, you can read through the rest of this. Supposedly, he's really paying much attention. He spent a lot of time, somewhere it says that he spent a lot of, here it is. Prior to nationwide coronavirus lockdown orders, CNN reported that Durham had been spending multiple days each week inside a SCIF, a sensitive compartmented information facility, reviewing classified documents related to the federal government's investigations into Russian interference and President Trump's campaign. So I think he's trying to get all of his information. From what I've read about Durham before, he's very, very thorough. So I think that's what's taking more time, is that he is very thorough. But when he gets his cases done and he puts out an indictment, his chances of getting prosecution on that is like very, very high. It's almost impossible that they won't be prosecuted if he puts out an indictment. So let's hope that there are lots and lots of indictments. And, he's just trying to dig up all this stuff about Fusion GPS and everything else. But it says here that CNN cited a half dozen sources confirming that Durham is scrutinizing former CIA Director John Brennan and former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, with a special focus on the 2017 intelligence community assessment of the Kremlin meddling in 2016's presidential election. So, but you look at that and you say, okay, well, what does that have to do with the violent crimes and drug trafficking? So, but we know they're all connected. It's all going to come out. It just is taking longer because it's so complex. Anyway, I'll leave the links to all of these things down below. And, you can go through them, share them with other people, try to make sure that the word is getting out. And hang in there, folks, because we're getting closer. When the sun starts coming out a lot more and it's warming up, even in the northern states, we're going to start to see this illness just kind of dissipate, because sun's good for it. Remember, sun, warmth, it's going to happen. So anyway, that's what I've got for you on this one. I want to thank you for stopping by, and I'll see y'all later.